What's up, guys? So today's deep dive is going to be into Blade, um, which was teased at the very end of Marvel's Comic-Con panel. And yeah, there's not a whole heap of confirmed stuff for this, but we'll get into all of that in just a moment. For now, I'll let the intro play. All right, so Blade was sort of confirmed to be happening at the end of the Comic-Con panel, but it itself was not on the big sort of timeline display that they had up on the screen, because this film is in fact going to be a Phase 5 film, not a Phase 4 film, and as such its release date is unconfirmed, although we can expect it to be probably the February date in 2022, or the May date, considering that this has been confirmed. The only other ones that have been confirmed for Phase 5 are Guardians Volume 3. We know that's happening because they brought James Gunn back on to do that, but we have to wait till Suicide Squad 2's done, and that'll come out in around 2021. So it's likely that Volume 3 will be the end of 2022, potentially beginning of 2023. So we can expect the Blade movie to be early 2022 in that case. There is no confirmed director. The only cast or crew member that we know is going to be there... Sorry, I've got some gunk in my eye. Yeah, the only cast or crew member that we know is going to be there is Mahershala Ali playing Blade. I had a little bit of an issue with this, but I'll get to that at the end of the video. I will give you guys the trivia and my theories and stuff first. So yeah, let's get into it. So Wesley Snipes actually wanted to reprise his role as Blade before the rights went back to Marvel, and a whole heap of fans were wanting that. However, had that been the case, I don't know if it would have been a reboot like this film is. This film is actually a reboot to the Wesley Snipes trilogy from New Line Cinema, as much as a continuation had Wesley Snipes come back into it. As I said before, Kevin Feige has clarified that this will be part of Phase 5, not Phase 4. Other characters that were interested in portraying Blade were Idris Elba, although I feel him playing Heimdall very famously in the Thor films sort of cut him out of the consideration. Adewale, I don't know how to pronounce his last name. I do know that I believe he was Killer Croc in Suicide Squad. He was interested in it, as well as John Boyega. Yeah, I'm not going to attempt to pronounce Adewale's last name because I don't want to mispronounce it and potentially offend anybody with my poor pronunciation of African names. After being announced as Blade, Mahershala Ali took part of a photo selfie with the cast and crew of Black Widow, The Falcon, Winter Soldier, Eternal, Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings, WandaVision, Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, Loki, The What If Disney Plus show, Hawkeye and Thor Love and Thunder at Comic-Con. So he was actually part of the big sort of Phase 4 cast photo, even though his film is a Phase 5 film. David Leitch did state about directing the movie. He was a stuntman in the Blood Raid during Blade way back in 1998. So having worked on a Blade film, would be cool if we could get him to direct it, but as I said, no director has yet been confirmed for this film. Jordan Peele has stated that he won't direct the reboot due to his commitment with The Twilight Zone and some other projects. But could you imagine if we'd been able to get him? He's been tuning out some really good horror lately, and just considering the character and sort of the gothic horror side of the Marvel universe that his film is likely to get into, with Blade, Jordan Peele directing that movie would have made such a phenomenal combination. So yeah, obviously with there not being anyone other than Blade confirmed to be appearing in this, I have no idea who the villains are going to be. I can't therefore make any predictions about what the plot's going to be, but you can almost be guaranteed that it will have something to do with vampires, considering he's a vampire hunter, and potentially some other sort of gothic horror elements that Marvel has in its comics. Things that I hope would happen, a Moon Knight reference or cameo in order to help set up a Moon Knight film or TV show. Even if that show is on Disney Plus, I wouldn't care. We already know that the Loki show is going to filter into Love and Thunder, and the WandaVision show is going to filter into Doctor Strange 2. So these films, and I read literally this morning that the Russos have one more film that they want to make with Captain America. So that may end up joining into and pulling elements from the Falcon and Winter Soldier show as well. So there's a whole heap of ways that the Disney Plus stuff is actually still going to be canon for the movieverse. And so, yeah, even if that Moon Knight thing becomes a Disney Plus show, it's still going to be considered canon, which is great. So, yeah, I would really like to see Moon Knight get set up in this. I think it's going to be really cool. Obviously, it being a character literally named Blade, I'm going to want some high impact action sequences with a little bit of blood and gore would be nice. I know that that Disney has announced that they will be continuing R-rated Deadpool films. Hopefully, considering they also made an R-rated Punisher, they will keep that going with Blade as well. Yeah, that'd be what I'm hoping for. Onto my little issue about who's playing Blade. Now, I know that these are not considered as canon, and they sort of sit in their own little sort of side pocket of the universe, but the Marvel Netflix shows are still, if you go online and look them up, they are still considered to be part of the MCU. And Mahershala Ali played Cottonmouth, Cornell Stokes, in season 1 of Luke Cage, meaning that he is now officially the first person to play two characters, because I forget the actress's name, but she played Mariah Dillard in Luke Cage. She also had a cameo in Civil War, but her name was never specifically stated in that. It was assumed that she was playing Miriam from the comics, who does very much the exact same thing as what her character in Civil War did, but her name wasn't stated. So you can go into Luke Cage, which obviously came out afterwards, with the understanding of this is the same character, because her name wasn't stated there and it's stated here. It's the same actress, so you can just consider that to be sort of the first unofficial time that the movies and the Netflix shows actually sort of continued a character's storyline. And I mean, it does explain why she's willing to go to such lengths in Luke Cage to achieve her goals, because she knows that, you know, her son was trying to help rebuild this other country, ended up getting killed by superheroes. So obviously her dislike for superheroes, and therefore Luke Cage, as well as her her ideology of wanting to rebuild Harlem after the Battle of New York and after the Hulk rampage to it and stuff all makes a bit of sense. But having the same actor that played a villain in Luke Cage now being an anti-hero with a completely different name, yeah, it's sort of, yeah, a little bit confusing if you consider those films to sort of be a side space of the same universe, sort of thing. Like they're not directly interfering with the Avengers and their storylines. They're just there sort of keeping the people of New York safe. But yeah, it does, when you think about that, does get a little bit interesting into how they're going to sort of work around that. But yeah, trying to now think of things from my, actually they're sitting just there on the floor. I've got some fact files sitting just there on the floor. I think there's an image in one of them where Blade's working with Black Panther. So that'd be kind of cool if there was a team up there. But yeah, it's really anyone's guess what's going to happen in this film at the moment. So yeah, until I have more details, I'm going to leave it there. If you enjoyed the video, guys, please give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to hit the subscription button and the notification bell if you haven't already. That way you are alerted when I upload a new video. You can check my social medias in the description down below, as well as the links to all of the sites that I used to get information for this. This one was literally just IMDb, but you can check that down below. And yeah, until next time, guys, night to A2, and I'll check you all later.